welcome back to my channel. So as you might know, the goal of this channel for me is to find ways for me to live more sustainably here in London. And the thing I've decided to have a look at next is my regular dental floss to see if there's some kind of sustainable alternative I can find to that. Now, from a sustainability perspective, there's kind of two aspects to look at. The first of those is the actual floss itself. And regular dental floss usually uses nylon, which is derived from petroleum. So that's not particularly great. And ideally, I'll be looking for some kind of alternative to the petroleum-based nylon. And then the other aspect to think about is what kind of packaging does it come in? So does it come in too much unnecessary packaging? And is the packaging material recyclable, easily recyclable? Is it compostable, for example? And what kind of material is it? So is it plastic or is it cardboard? So these are the kind of things that I'll be thinking about when I'm trying to pick my alternative. What exactly am I looking for? I think in an ideal world, I'll be looking for some kind of plant-derived fibre for the actual floss. Now, I'm not strictly vegan, but I do see the sustainability merits of moving away from using animal products towards using more plant products. And then on the packaging side of things, as with all things in sustainability, you want to keep the packaging to an absolute minimum. And if there is any packaging, then it's best if that is made from really easily recyclable materials, or even better, from materials which are compostable. And also to try and stay as much as possible away from plastics. So I did a good amount of searching online to try and find some kind of alternative which ticks these two boxes for me, but also works well as a floss. And what I just found was that given what's out there on the market right now, it's just impractical for me to find something like that. And in my research, I came across two articles which summarize this difficulty really well. The first of those was by Wastelandrebel, and she looked at the trade-off and contradiction of trying to find a floss which is made from a plant-based fibre, and also trying to find one which has as little packaging as possible. And then the other article, which was really good, was by My Plastic Free Life, which concentrates more on the side of trying to find a dental floss which has no plastic packaging whatsoever. These were two really great articles, so I'm going to leave them in the description for you if you want to have a look yourself. And they'll give more detail than I can provide for you in just a 7-minute video. But what I do want to do for you is just to summarize the kind of things they were talking about. And one point is that a lot of companies have started to provide silk floss. Now, this is good in the fact that it's compostable and has less impact than nylon floss does, but it is not plant derived, so it's not ideal. And a lot of the companies who are providing silk floss are still packaging it in unnecessary amounts of card and plastic and things like this. Then on the other side, you have some companies providing nylon floss, but they're packaging it in a more sensible fashion. So they're using less plastic and more paper and card. So both of these are a step in the right direction, but they're not ideal. However, I would like to let you know about two much better alternatives which were also mentioned in these articles. The first of these is called Dental Lace, and they are a US-based company providing silk floss, and it comes in a reusable glass tube with a metal cap. And then from the company you can also get refills with less packaging. And this is good in two ways. So first of all, on the packaging side, every time you're refilling, you're using less packaging, and then the silk floss is also compostable, so that's great. And then there's another company in Germany called The Mel, which provide a very similar product. It's also a silk floss, it comes in a reusable glass container, and you can get refills from the company which have very little packaging. So these are two very, very good alternatives, and I would get these if I lived in either North America or Europe where it's easy to get them. But for me, I live in London and it's not so easy. I need to order it over from continental Europe and get it shipped over just for me. So I don't find the environmental impact and the financial cost of ordering just from Europe for me to be acceptable, so it's just not an option for me. But do keep an eye out if you are looking for an alternative yourself, and if you live in North America or continental Europe, these are two very good options. But for me, I'm going to have to find something else. So what I've done just to get started is get myself some Radius silk floss. It's really easily available in the UK from a number of stores, and the reason why I got it is I just want to see what it's like to floss with silk, to see if it works for me. And then what that will mean is that if in the future there's a lower packaging option of silk floss in the UK for me, then I'll be able to make the switch over really easily and I'll know that it works well for me. this radius silk floss, it comes in first of all a paper box, and then inside that there's an annoyingly unnecessary plastic container. And although it does say that it's made from polypropylene, which is technically recyclable, I have a feeling that if I were to throw this into my recycling bin, it would probably find its way to landfill just because it's not easily and widely recycled. So I've been using it for a few days now, and so far I've been quite happy. It's got a more fibrous and gritty texture than nylon floss does, but for me that's been fine. Maybe if any of you have really tightly spaced teeth, then that might be a little bit of a difficulty, but I've been happy so far. So other than to continue using my silk floss that I have already, I'm just going to keep an eye out to see if either Vermeil or dental lace become more easily available here in London, or if a competitor comes out with a similar product. And then finally, I'm going to keep an eye out also for any completely new alternatives which are plant-based. And if those come out, then I'll definitely give those a try and I'll keep you updated. Just to summarize today, as you can see, I found it quite difficult to find a truly sustainable alternative dental floss for me here in London, but there are some good alternatives for any of you who are based in continental Europe or North America. So for now, I'm just going to continue on with my radius silk floss and see how that goes. And in the future, I'm just going to keep an eye out for any good plant-based alternatives which don't break too easily when you're using them. And at least I know that my silk floss is a small step forward from my conventional floss, which was essentially a plastic string inside a plastic box sold in even more plastic packaging. So although I'm kind of unsatisfied, at least I've made a small step forward. And also by making this video, at least I learned a lot about the different options and the different considerations to make when looking for floss in the future. And hopefully by watching, you've also taken away something from this. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.